Morning, everyone from Queensland, Australia. Early morning. Saturday. As we most of us know, just wondering where I begin this flow. And I do hope it's helpful for all. You know, because there's always something of a spiritual relevance to the practicality of our lives that is about raising our vibration, which is raising our use of intelligence of the being. And so let's go with the throat chakra, all right? And I'll just grab my new chakra. All right, so throat chakra. I normally use this, which is still lovely, but I really liked the patterns showing on this. Interesting that they're both incense related. This comes from an incense box for the 7 chakras. You know, it's just a piece of cardboard from the box. It's lovely. It's got the patterns and everything, but just I wanted them more clearer and found this the other day. It's an incense holder. Lovely. Should grab one. I found this for a couple of bucks. So the throat chakra, right? As far as I'm concerned on this planet, me growing up, so not only me, but me growing up with everyone else on this planet, we haven't been aware that we are human beings with consciousness levels to travel through, right? And get certain understandings and lessons of what is this, how we use our power, our energy. And so when it comes to the throat chakra, it's so easy for us to just say anything or to listen to anything, but not actually get the meaning because of our journeys, not really understanding that at each of these levels through the years, so approximately 7 to 8 years, right, is how we actually see them at the moment as separate vortices of consciousness, but they're actually one whole. Anyway, let's not go into that this morning. But with the throat chakra, like my point is, right, I started this flow because I'm really, it's a flow I have to say, because I'm really annoyed that when someone speaks, we would actually hear them, right, from a different level of consciousness if we took what we speak more, we were more truthful with what we speak. If we were, like someone has an open throat chakra, if they value what they say, they're not just spending time talking, blurting out anything about other people. They're not filling it with like dark or negative energy that's to do with judging, you know, nothing really. So it's just putting out a judgment, or it's just spending their time doing whatever and talk, right? The throat chakra is not clearly aligned to the wholeness of the being And by the time you get to the throat chakra coming online, we've got 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So by the age of around 35, between 35 and 38, if you're not, you would be probably discontent, right, in your life if you haven't learned along these consciousness, growth, expansion elements. So the heart chakra would be give and receive easily. If you haven't learned this kind of lesson and stood out and been brave from, like, what was that age, around 28, 30, you know, then you probably wouldn't be brave enough to be expressing like more of your truth. Okay, this is all where people can't actually see or tell the difference unless you're energetically or soulfully kind of inclined to look beyond the person's words, or we can feel when someone's lying, or, you know, they hold back with their heart, or they're too worried about like solar plexus area with presenting it like an ego or an identity. So you can feel these things. We feel it in each other, but we just haven't been educated and understand that we are this energy. We are on this kind of journey. We can feel when people are doing certain things, but because we've had such a solid human perspective, oh, we're not energy. Oh, the spiritual path, that's for religion, or, you know, for hippies, or, you know, it's separate. But it's not separate. It's our energy, okay? We are souls, and we have a body for Earth at the moment. But the body stays, and the soul goes back to energy. You know? We all know that's a temporary life experience, so you make the most of it while you got the body. Take care of the body. These are all the different things we learn. You know, come out of your ego, put your ego to rest. So when it gets to the throat chakra, you want to be feeling like I have an ease and flow of mastering that there is more to me at a soul perspective. I don't have to use my ego for evolution. Like, that's not my evolution. My ego goes along for the ride of my soul expanse. Okay, so there is some wisdom to really take on here. And the solar plexus is telling us, and will always tell us, it's about light expanse. So if you're operating from ego, if you're putting your foot down and saying, I want things a certain way, my life is going to look like this, etc., then that's not evolution at the heart chakra. And everyone has to go through this. All right? This is the raising in consciousness. So everyone has to get in line with, what does it mean to be me at the solar plexus? Well, it means expanse for everybody. Okay? It means light. Like the sunlight rising now and coming through my window, it's expanse. It's expanding, and the globe gets to, you know, share it and see it, feel it. And what is this all occurring for? Well, it's just evolution, it's just growth, it's just the whole cycle, it's just part of us, it's just part of us. Okay, so Matthias still thinks he can act immaturely. This is part of my flow, why this is coming up, but I only share it a lot of the time because I don't want to make a talk just about what I'm going through. I want it to be, this is relevant to what we're going through as a whole. So Matthias still thinks that he can egoically, in the etheric realm, stick by something of his ego. And it is all ego, because he does like demanding, horrible, natured things, because he's still stuck in patterns of the ego that says, I just get my way, it goes my way, and I am the one. Like, it's an ego thing. It's like, I will have it my way, and that's the only way. And this is about a relationship of higher consciousness taking shape. So there is no way in hell anyone is getting their way with the way he treats me. So like, I'm unknotting my hair yet again, because during the night he tried to sneakily manipulate through cold into my skull with electricity from the left to the right, so that he could slowly take over my vessel with cold and try and control it through my electricity resource, like of myself, of anything in the environment, the power, the lights, the phone, anything at all. Because he tries to tell me he's going to take over in the etheric realm, astral travel, and various elements of using the power resource that we are and a part of, right? So he's still stuffing around with his idea of perfection, with the frequency of ego that's like, I say, I, and it's not of a consideration of the other person or anything else, which is myself, which is of our real role as humans on the planet, using our talents for good. So it's all me, me, me. Are you hearing me? It's all about me. And there really is no breath in that. That's what he wants to embody. That's what he constantly aims at. And it's a upheld perfectionist standard, because he has a different face for the world. And he wants them to see the upheld perfection standard, right? So there is truth in this for all humans, that we all want to present as, knowing what we're doing, or not knowing what we're doing, sharing who we are on a truthful level, and wanting people to see that as, as best as possible. But what that is you got to do the journey, right? You can have these ideals of what you want, right? This is good. This is the truth in all of us. We all want to present who we are at the most highest and lightest, because unconsciously, but we learn it, we are light. So the more that others can see who we are, the more we attract from who we truly are. But it's when you hold tight to this ideal, which can become egoic, that you actually darken in a fight to get that thing you want. That's exactly what's going on. He's using his ego, right? Ego. Instead of taking the journey of the next step that's been asked at the heart level. So put the ego down and learn of the heart consciousness, the green, radiant green, for growth, sunshine, green field, sky, beautiful day, these three. If we chill out and accept growth, the lessons at each of these. Okay? Our power, the solar plexus, is not us solo on our own saying, I know the way. I. You're a part of an am. Okay? An am is not an I. You're not on your own. You're not meant to battle for a good life. You're not meant to battle anyone. In each moment you take a breath, you are not meant to autopilot that life is all about yourself. And that's all I freaking experience with him. Me. But get this, in the etheric realm. So it'd be different if it was someone in front of your face. You could walk away from them. Oh, okay, it's all about you, is it? So you can't hear me? You don't want to learn anything new with me? No? Okay then, see ya. But this is in the etheric realm. He puts up his ego fight. Okay? So this has to land. We talk about ego death, and it is somewhat. There needs to be a shedding of, I think I am just this person, but I am actually more. This is when so much can happen for the soul here, where the human decides, I am this in the human realm. I have things my way. I want life to be a certain way. It's all very human, fight, solid nature. I'm gonna push, I'm gonna demand, you don't matter. This is a push against anything else. When we are spirit, on a spiritual path, and you need to use your heart consciousness and speak some truth, right, of your growth with those three. But growth is all of this. Like at the orange around the navel, it's like our seeds of our part in the universe. So whatever sacred path planned for our journey here, we are working with that with the universe. So then the human has to identify at the solar plexus, am I in alignment with this? How does this feel? And people can fight it like he is, or people can grow and open up, and you would tell yourself at the solar plexus, I am more than this. I am light, expanse. I had better listen to the light, guidance, etc., of a lighter perspective than being a heavy, bossy human. Okay? Light is my expanse. Light is why we're all here, to raise the consciousness of the planet. We get stuck in ego, we feel down, we focus only on our foundation and keeping things the same. Our sacral chakra, the orange again, slowed down in the creative center because the ego is too busy fighting the light evolution. And so like right now, he's hurting me, stinging my tongue. So he has this big, fat, fucking ego in the etheric realm that he will just not put down. All right? And it has been from, basically, he tells me, I have to do the plan his way. Now, let me tell you, no one would want to. All right? He has, like I said, he does force still. So he's applied pressure to my physical being and all the various things for a long time now. And I've worked with the light. We're extremely freaking patient. But obviously, we're creators. So I'm not going to be quiet. I'm here to evolve my creative center. You know, my creative endeavor. And the videos that I do explain that. And that includes my past, my present, and what my present is in alignment with for our evolution. So you can call that future, but being in alignment with the present is what creates our future. So getting present and learning all there is to know about your own path, how it affects others, and working as a light network is our bright future. None of this old shit. So no one would agree with this egoic path that he was determined to create with me, telling me that I needed to fit. Okay? I was not having a social media relationship. One. I was not going to be pushed around to have one. This is a bloke that could jump on a plane and go and meet me to find out anything at all at any time. All right? But what he hides and puts his ego over the top of is, it's not easy for me to do this path, Teresa, and I demand that you work it my way. And the answer is no. There is no my way. Why is that? Because I'm a being. And this is light networking. So you'd better use light to communicate with me. Who the hell do you think you are with this ego uprising? And so it has always been an uncomfortable kind of path, because when someone gets so stuck in their egoic response to life, they don't want to know anything else. And that's not what we're doing here. And if you're a spiritual teacher, that's not what we're doing here. So for your big step up, Matthias, in life, it's to put down your strong, bossy ego in every breath, because you got it on autopilot. Which is why it's like you're constantly spinning back wheels, because you know you have the ego attachment that says everything to do with ego attachment. Like the mind is fully gone to the ego attachment that says, I want to win. She can't have her way. She should do what I say. I've got to have things my way. So it's a constant back wheel spin for the solar plexus, not spinning healthily. I can leave old behind. I've got to do a little step to find out the new. Things drop away that I don't really need, and I don't have to fight to keep them the same. I can do something new. It's the spinning, healthy life of the solar plexus that says I can share at my heart and I'm okay to be something new. I can share at my heart and I'm okay to be something new. This is the light evolution of the soul. I must have a sacred path because I keep getting drawn to this person. It's not just the fact that her and I feel a connection in the ether. It's the fact we're humans having to evolve as souls. Humans having to evolve as souls. So I'm doing this circular motion for this rising of each of our awareness of these vortices, right? But the truth of them is, behind, they're like just one whole portal, right? Guides, I'm just going to ask my guides for a sec while I keep going back to that relevance of the one whole portal. Just not sure that I should talk much about it yet, because we don't look at it in that way, but what is that relevance? Yeah, that's right. Okay. So it's because the 3D needs to learn that we are whole. right? These things need to be learnt to understand our wholeness. So once we're actually consciously working with this program, like it's not a narrow program like on earth, program this, change this, etc. That's the creative operations using this consciousness. But knowing ourselves at the highest level is wholeness. Fighting the path of this in any way when you get signs of working with the wholeness slows these down. Will slow them down because it's got to do with consciousness. It's got to do with your life. When you wake and breathe, all of these are being used, and we can make some of our concentration on particular areas of our consciousness overactive and others underactive. That's why it's good to know a little bit about each one of them. So if you're having any problems in life, you can sit back and go, why is that relationship not working? So the first thing you'd think of with a relationship is the heart chakra, and are you in alignment? Like, do I give of this vulnerable place inside of me? Right? We all know a vulnerable place. It's a feeling. These are things that can't necessarily be seen so much, like I said earlier, but we can notice it when someone holds back, wants things to stay safe and the same, etc. So this is where you ask yourself, because there's no one else's responsibility to let you stay the same. Like, I just want to be this and I'll have things my way, and that other person is meant to work with that. I'm sorry, that ain't going to work for my health. That ain't going to work for my life. That ain't going to work for a expansion kind of path. I don't know what the hell you plan it, but we're here with all this consciousness, and it is for growth. And P.S., we're not here forever. So you better, get in alignment with yourself, clean out some baggage of gotta be this way the whole time, and lighten up to the freaking truth. So at the throat chakra, you can speak some of that truth you're going through. We're not meant to have it all sorted out by, what's this age again? Is it 14? 21. Solar plexus. So this is where, at this age, anywhere from 21 to 25, the human could have maybe, created a career for themselves and be careful to still grow at the heart and the truth and not stay believing life is a certain way. Because you could create patterns that say, I don't have to share myself and I can say what I want at the throat chakra, and just, it's like a superficial ego version and not evolving the wholeness of oneself. All right. And if people don't have people in their lives that keep them accountable to that kind of crap, where like they're growing, but like everyone's growing together, but if people want things a certain way, if they don't necessarily give of their heart to life, or like they don't show kindness, they're not easily offering compassion to someone else because they've got this egoic safety security pattern that I'm going to keep it my way. All right? That's not going to build healthy relationships, and it's not going to build a healthy person's perspective. So one way or another, because we all go through these lessons, there is going to be some growth where the person is going to have to shed the ego. People who fight it end up with different kind of things going on, and they just look outside still like, why is this happening to me? All right? So I think I've gone on enough, and now that's 30 minutes. And I think I've shared enough for us to understand that there is more than a superficial spotlight to us. There is more than a superficial spotlight. So if you think that, you know, what you've created is the way it is, and that's the only spotlight you want, as in, that's what I'll shine out, and anything that I think should come from it, I'll make sure it comes from it. No. You're in for some growth, all right? Because we're not just superficial. And that's my main point. And yeah, we are all light. It's a light network, and no one has to or will work with you if you decide your consciousness gets to miss out on sharing honesty at heart and light perspective. So what does the sun want us to do? It wants us to grow vibrantly and share who we are through truth and flower. All right? So if you're not feeling like you're working with that beautiful program, and you are struggling telling yourself with the mind, so you skip these, but with the mind you'll say, I am this, I am this, I am this. No one wants to work with you, because we all got to do this. We all got to be brave and step out into something new. We all got to do our best to speak the frickin' truth. When you think of the throat chakra and what I just said, please try and think of, I am clear blue. To get a circulation understanding that life isn't easy, but I'm here at solar plexus, light, soul, to express who I am. And I want that to be as clear blue as I can. That is what we're here to master. That is what we are here to master in any and every moment. Okay? Like, we're not expected to master it. We're not expected to stay in that not make a mistake kind of thing, because obviously it's a growth as you go through things. So as you're connecting in this relationship world, you are going to say things or do things as a part of your growth, so that you know in future, or like the next time you come into certain situations, that actually wasn't who I was there. You kind of reflect on how you've grown, because we grow in the moments. It's not like you can sit back and go, I'm going to be exactly like this, because that's not how we grow. You can't do that to yourself. And I do think that that's part of this situation, that people want life a certain way, So they think if they put out a certain thing, they'll keep it that way. No, because there's a bigger plan and we're part of that light. So this is where the ego trips and falls over itself, because if you start pushing your weight around with what you think you can keep in place, then you could become a controlling control freak that ends up like falling over yourself. Because of the various aspects of that. I don't need to explain it. You just can't become something permanent that you think you maintain and you don't have to grow. That's the bigger perspective. All right, so it's about time, because I speak truth, right? And like I was saying, you do all sorts of things in life. You're not perfect. All right? But once you evolve through various understandings of yourself at the solar plexus and the heart of everyone is powerful, and one of the most strongest and purest powers to then elevate and be catalyst of who you truly are at the heart and soul. And you have this confidence that you build from experience coming out at the throat chakra. You have a clear blue. It's like you have your grounding, learning who you are, etc. Don't drive yourself insane trying to think you have to be a certain thing or a certain way. Okay? Because you're not, you are light. All right? So solid mentality, 3D mentality is, if I keep it a certain way, I'll be fine. This is where people won't even take a step, right? They feel like they're falling off a cliff if they don't have all their subconscious ego, identity, perspective. If they don't have that in the next step, they'll feel like they're falling off a cliff instead of actually walking onto land, right? But this is a mind perspective, and you are not of solid nature. Even our skin and everything is so movable, all right? We're not like of statues or certain presentation. We can be anything, anytime, and this is the spontaneous, unpredictable flow of the fluid spirit nature. So, and get this, the soul is ancient, right? So you don't know, and it's a discovery path of the solar plexus. The soul, and your spiritual guidance team, the whole design of this is, like I said, the womb, the seeds, part of the universe. Here we have sacred paths, right? Because if we didn't, we wouldn't connect with other souls at such a deep level. So this is our true nature, that those seeds are emphasized by light for growth, for our spiritual nature. Okay, because does the human live here? Am I going to live here for thousands of years as Teresa? No, none of us are. So you have this sacred path set up. Amazing. It's so amazing because it's so unique to each soul. And so you have the sun is a huge sign for us. We're just like one with this design. It's just like, look at the colors, just look at the land to the skies. We're one with this design. So we are always being helped, light shone on us. We are light. So, it's up to us at the solar plexus to let the new creative endeavors rise. And they're not going to rise if we're not honest with them. So this is like the divine light shone on us. You have a truth to speak, and heaven to earth, you are part of this heaven to earth connection. Let the new creative feelings, be in touch with your feelings. What is it you want to do? Don't let yourself block it up with the ego at the solar plexus. So get rid of your ego demands on life. You got to loosen up, get some flow between the hips, literally as in flow with life. Right? Because the egos that say, I'll have life a certain way, they're not letting heaven to earth or earth to heaven for their growth. They've got a mentality that says, I'm scared, I'm protecting the way I want it to be so I don't ever have to feel scared again. Okay? But that's not life. Fear and scared is a natural part of growth, and it changes and it evolves. But if you think as you get older that you're going to hold on to fears and you're the protector of them, well, you're just going to keep getting wake-up calls. Especially if you have a path that is meant to evolve to help many. So there is always this heaven to earth, earth to heaven, because it's all one, right? But the design is like, speak what feels true, we're supporting you. You feel it coming up from your connection to earth that you want to create something new. Feel it. We support you. Expand your solar plexus. So it's really up to us, whether at the chest, we're being honest with ourselves, that we're holding back, or we're going to allow ourselves to grow. There is really no one outside of us that we need to hold in place to make sure our growth is just right from all we've known so far. You have to realize that it is extremely immature perspective when we are wise, connected beings. Which is why I couldn't recognize this hidden perspective in Matthias of safety, security, gotta have it my way, when he can also speak the wisdom we're connected to. Why is there this discrepancy in between in his light being that says, I'm not going to change, but I have connection to the whole of the universe and all the wisdom? Yeah, you do, but you're not using it in your own being in between heaven and earth. Not when you're battling someone so ridiculously. Do you not see a wise human resolve? And do you not stop to think that your energy is affecting more than just you and her? Where's the wisdom in that? This is how you elevate in consideration of this. That what you do matters to the planet. And who the hell are you to say, I want things my way and it's the way it's going to stay, and it's like stomping on the planet. I'm going to chuck a worldwide tantrum instead of go and speak to that person. And I'll leave it at that for now. God bless everyone. Take care of these. Get wise. And make use of yourself.